Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the simulator and welcome back to the channel. Today is 13th of May 2025, and it looks like a few of my events have reset here. Let's do the For Golf's Sake 15 Plus League. It's called Time to Be Challenged, and it's at Kooyonga Golf Club. Let's check out the vitals here. Okay, 4-foot gimme auto putt. That's smaller than normal. 6,400 yard tees. Mulligans are off. Sunday pins. Green firmness is hard and stimps 11. Fairway firmness is link, so that's pretty hard. And the wind is going to be breezy, and we are at sea level. Let's load this sucker up here real quick. All right, we're back here. First hole is a 545 yard par 5. Let's see. Probably going to hit it about there. We got a bit of a tailwind. See those links, fairways. Ball's gonna hit hard and bounce. I'm gonna hit 3 wood here. We're still quite a ways out from the pin. Okay, not bad. 51 footer, 51 yarder, rather. We should be good as long as we get up by the pin. All right, that was a good example of what we can expect here with the hard grains and 11 stimp. Ball's not going to want to stop. 19 footer here. Five footer here. Hole 2 is also a par 5, back-to-back par 5s, 472 yards. .234 left of the pin. Holes cut on the left side of the rather tiny green. .194. And we got a bit of wind blowing. Let's Let's see where we end up here. Took a bad bounce. Can't see really anything here. Hide objects isn't going to do anything for some reason in GS Pro. It's really hard to tell where we could even hit here. $40, $50 yards here. This is a birdie attempt at quite a ways out. I'd say we're looking at 50 plus feet here. Got to remember these greens are quick. Five-footer to finish out here, I hope. Number 3 is 178 yards. Got that wind blowing across us pretty good here. What's my 178 club here? Next shot will be off the beach here. That felt a little bit thin. $13 out of the bunker. $26 feet, give or take here. Not quite. Nine-footer now for bogey, I think. Or not. We just take a double. Double bogey on a par 3. Gotta love it. $130 yards, little bit of a headwind. Let's hit the 9-iron here. Realizing we're probably going to be obstructed by some trees. Yeah, we hit the tree. And weird bounces everywhere, all around. Wasn't a bad shot. 21 yards here, slightly uphill. Let's take the lob wedge. Way too much mustard there. We'll be hitting the lob wedge again. Oh boy. All you can do is laugh. 12 yards. Oh my goodness, folks. Oh my goodness. Okay. Got out of there. Finally. 309, par 4, hole number 5. We are 5 over par already. We need to slow our roll. Okay, that's going to parts unknown there, adjacent fairway. The ball came off of some part of the club. I guess my face was too open there. 143 now, we'll go with an 8. That might be headed to the sand. This course is not going to let up on us. Everything's hard. Hard greens, hard fairways. 25 feet here. Everything is just flying. Everything's flying. Okay, 12. What's this, 36 feet? Oh, we got out of there with a bogey that time. All right, number 6 is 382 yard par 4. This course is pretty cleverly designed. You can tell somebody's put some thought into it. There's danger lurking around every corner. Lots of bunkers right in the typical spot where a ball would land off the tee box, stuff like that. It's going to play, let's call it face value because we got a tailwind. That's going to be our 7-iron. Well-guarded greens. You better be on your game here. "30 feet here, a little uphill, then downhill. Could be dangerous if you let it be." Four-footer here. Let's see if we can get a few holes here without any major mistakes. Wind's blowing. Let's hit an 8-iron here and hopefully it doesn't balloon up too far. Not a bad shot. Right to left. Not too much going on for north to south here. 14-footer. That almost looked like it was going away. These are really tough greens. I'm not gonna lie to you. Eighth hole, 411-yard par 4. Classic 6,000-yard course length distances here. Wouldn't say that's the longest drive I've ever hit. 202 yards with a tailwind. Let's hit a 5er here. Might be all right, but there are so many sand traps and the ground is so hard. It's kind of difficult to tell where you're going to land, but we did all right there. 26 yards out of some rough. We're hitting uphill. This is gonna feel about 6 feet and some inches here. Yeah. Okay, 483, par 5. This is number 9 at Kooyonga Golf Club. All right, that's already heading hard right. I don't know what happened there. Open club face. Something, something, something. That was essentially a waste of a stroke just to get out of that area. Luckily, it's a par 5. Little stinger there. These are links fairways, so that thing is going to roll a mile. Let's see if we can get on the green here. We're short-sided, 38 yards. Sit. Okay, that saved our bacon there. Number 10 is a 415-yard par 4. All right, we're 183 out here with a bit of a tailwind. Let's hit a 6-iron here. Maybe try to stay out of these sand traps. I don't think there's been a green yet that wasn't surrounded in sand traps. And we've probably found another one. Tough course. This is going to be more suited for your ball strikers who very accurate with their, I would say, mid to low irons, which on some days we all are, right? Little 6-foot putt here. If we can keep the horizontal launch angle under control, we should be fine. All right, what do we got here? 375, guessing that's a par 4. Headwind. Looks like that was a little bit off the top of the club, I guess. 165 with a headwind. Probably ought to hit the 6-iron here. Again. Bunkers everywhere. Might be all right. Twenty-seven yards here. It's crazy how hard these greens are. Seven foot 10 inches. Mm, 12 is a 375 yard par 4 with a nice little tailwind. We'll take that. Okay, we're going to be very much blocked out from the green here. We're going to have to get creative. I think I went right under it, which is crazy because I'm using a shorter tee than I normally use. I can't find the other one. Let's grab a 5-iron and see if we can't get out of here with much collateral damage. We might be all right. It's rolling right up to that bunker though. Okay, there we go. Lob wedge here, 29 yards. We're probably better off keeping it a little high. Maybe aim over here. Okay, we got out of there with a par even after that horrid drive. Number 13 is a 404 yard par 4. Felt like that was a little high on the club face. No harm, no foul. 199 yards into the pin with a headwind. Let's give this 4-iron a whack here. All right, that's going over to the right. Pretty bad, it looks like. What'd we do? Not real sure. The replay says some things. Slightly open club face and some gear effect, and apparently that's the result of that. 50 yards into the pin. We're slightly short-sided. Sit. The thing just keeps on rolling. All right, this is for par. I would imagine we're going to take a bogey here. You don't make too many 17-foot putts, but there's no reason not to try here. All right, no go. A little too hard there. 6 feet, probably closer to 5.5 feet. Number 14 is a par 3, moderate distance, 145 yards. Got some wind. Let's hit an 8-iron here. believe that was the correct club there. Might have been able to get away with a 9-iron. 12-foot putt. It's probably going to feel closer to around 11, I would imagine. Couldn't manage to sneak that ball in. That's a shame. Pretty close. Putting hasn't been too bad. All right, we were followed up by a 210-yard par 3 with a headwind too. So fun for the whole family here. Not a bad shot. Birdie attempt. It's a little far out from the pin though. Uphill. A little bit of right to left, probably not that much. We need to hit this about 20 feet of feel. Which was not that putt. Lab software says that should have gone 24.5 feet, but here we are nonetheless, right? Little 5-footer, 6-footer here. Beginning to wonder if I should have joined this league. It's a 15 handicap plus league, and now I feel bad because this is 2 consecutive rounds where I've shot well under that. I'm guessing the organizer is not going to want me around too much longer. Might have to drop out of this league. I apologize, sir. For Golf's Sake is one of my subscribers. I believe I subscribe mutually to him, but I'm not sure I should be playing this league. Okay, that was raw data, was 43 yards offline, and then we obviously had a wind heading that direction too. I forgot to announce this hole. It's a 528-yard par 5. So we're just going to slowly move up the fairway here. And by that, I mean slowly. I've had a lot of problems with my 3-wood in the last couple of days. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but some days are better than others. Everything's thick with it right now. 175 out. Let's hit a 6-iron here. Very tiny green with a lot of sand traps around it. Enough said there. Might be all right, might get up there. Nice. All right, this is a downhill putt, left to right. 19 feet it looks like. Let's see what we can do here. Decent distance. Misread the break. Number 17 is a 367 yard par 4. We've got a wind going across our face. Beautiful course, but my goodness is it dangerous. .168 in. I'm thinking 7-iron, so is GS Pro. And we gotta really be mindful of this water over here. Should be fine. Might be on the green. These greens are very hard though. Let's look at the heat map here. This guy's definitely going away from us. We have to be real careful here. 27. This is going to certainly take some finesse. We're hitting down. Let's just see what we can do here with the pitching wedge. Oh boy, that's hot. Slow down. Uh-oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have got a stump the dummy green here. I don't know why I would take that. What's next? Flag line, next option. Okay, so for some reason we need to hit over the pond even though we entered the hazard here next to the green. I can't explain that. I don't know enough about golf. So let's re-hit the last shot, which is gonna cost us obviously. Let's putt and just try to get this ball slowly, ever so slowly over to the green, or the pin. Okay, it wants to go away toward the front of the green. Let's aim super high here. This is for double bogey. We need to hit about 20 feet of feel here. All right, we got pretty lucky there. What was that, a triple bogey? Verbal distractor. 18th hole is a 368 yard par 4. Some wind blowing. Pretty lousy drive there. It looks like it was off the heel. I don't personally think it should have been that far offline, but who am I? Who am I? Okay, 186 yards to the pin. Out of the rough here. This shot would not be pleasant in real life. And it looks like the next shot is also going to be quite unpleasant, unless you like hitting out of the sand. Okay, uphill, 31 yards. Greens are super hard, so we don't want to hit that close to the pin, right? That ain't bad. Took a bit of a beating on a couple of the holes here, but it hasn't been too terrible. This is a makeable putt if we can keep the HLA under control. 12, 13 footer, I'd say. That's quite unfortunate. All right, that was a tough course. 6,400 yard tees, 12 over par it looks like there. Probably need to drop out of this league, but it has been very pleasurable. As far as where we got our butts whooped the worst, we took a triple on 4, another triple on 17, right? So that's 6 strokes alone. And then a double on number 3. Let's look at the stats here before we close out the video. 11 pars, no complaints there. That's good stuff. 4 bogeys, 1 double bogey, and those 2 unfortunate double pluses. 31 putts, 1 sand save, 42 minutes, 7 greens, 6 fairways. Longest drive was 255 and the average drive was 218. And ball speeds are down pretty significantly, but that's just what we're doing, I suppose. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching as always, and we will see you in the next video.